Hi, I'm Rob Sloan, and I teach international marketing at Conestoga College. I'm going to give you a quick run through on how I would approach selling in Brazil. I've chosen Brazil because many of you are entering that country in the first period. Now, you'll notice under the Decisions tab, you have many decisions to make: market, center, SKUs and pricing, advertising, distribution, production. The information that you need for that is primarily in the competition and consumers tabs. Now, I can't go through all of the information that's there, and I'm going to give you some highlights on how I would go about making decisions and doing research. You need to have available to you a pencil and a piece of paper, or a pen at least, so that you can take some notes as you're going through and doing your research. So let's begin. First, we have to make decisions about what markets we'll enter. So in this case, we said we're going to enter Brazil. You've done your analysis and you believe that that's a good market to enter. Next, you're going to have to make a decision about the SKUs that you will create and the pricing. And you can see that you can create SKUs for economy, whitening, healthy, or kids. But you don't know where the best market or the best opportunity for you is. So we're going to start by finding out what consumers are looking for. And under the Consumers tab, decision criteria is an extremely important tool for you. So you're going to click on decision criteria and you'll click on Brazil, and you'll see here that you can do some cross tabs. Now, this overall weight that you see here tells you for all the people in Brazil who buy toothpaste, what do they care about most? And they care most about price, and next they care about effect, and then the size of the tube, and they care a little bit about the texture and the delivery. When we do cross sections, that'll change. So first thing I want to know is, how big is the market for different toothpastes in Brazil? So for an economy toothpaste, I can see here it's 50% of the population, but it's the demand that I'm most concerned with. 44.9% of the demand. So I'll write that down, 44.9%. I'll write E for economy, 44.9%. And now let's look at the other markets. Get rid of economy. Let's look at whitening. Save. And whitening is 18.3. So I'll write W, 18.3. And then I look at healthy. And save. And I see healthy is 28.8. So H, 28.8. And finally, kids. And the kids is 7.9% of demand. So it's the smallest one. So I circle the two biggest markets, because I want to enter and have a big impact. So economy and healthy are my big markets, but I still need to know how much competition is there in those markets. So now I go to the competition, and all of these are useful tabs. You should be doing research with all of them, but I'm going to focus on pricing since I'm giving you a very quick review. And I hit the total button here under Brazil. I don't need to show all tabs. I'm just looking at Brazil. And what I can see is there are a number of different manufacturers, 4 different manufacturers supplying product, and they're offering a whole lot of different SKUs in the market. So I want to see how much competition is there for different pieces. So economy was the first one that I had looked at in terms of consumer demand. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 SKUs. And I'll remember that it's 2 manufacturers. So beside economy, where I'd written just about 45, 44, I'm going to write there are 4 economy SKUs. So SKUs, 4. And now the next one was whitening that I looked at. Well, there are 9 and 1 whitening. WHT stands for whitening. So I know there are 10 SKUs for whitening. So beside the whitening, where I had about 18%, I wrote 10. Economy. Well, I see that there's just one, healthy. I see that there's just 1 healthy SKU. So beside healthy, where we were just about 29%, we write 1 for the number of SKUs. And then kids, 0. There are no kids SKUs at all in the market. And so beside the kids, where we were 8% of the market roughly, we have 0. So now I want to look at, what am I most concerned with? Do I want to have a lot of competitors in the market or a few? Well, if you're like me, you want to have as few competitors as you can. So I'm going to circle healthy and kids. Those are the ones that have the least competitors. So now when I look at both factors, what's the big markets? Economy and healthy. What are the ones with the least competition? Healthy and kids. Well, healthy shows up twice. It's a big demand and not many competitors. So I'm going to enter the healthy market. That's the logic that I'm going to follow. Now I need to know, so what SKUs will I create? Well, there's one competitor in the market here, Regional One, and they have a healthy medium tube paste. So I'm going to write down HMTP, standing for healthy medium tube paste. And I look along and I see, hey, nice level of sales, 74 million, but I want to write down what's my manufacturer's suggested retail price. It's 5.7. This is Brazilian reals, their currency. 5.7 Brazilian reals per tube, and it's a regional company. And they're charging, and I'll write down the allowance, 6.8%. Now, a little lesson. The way that the pricing works in this and most markets is the local company is seen as one that produces a poor quality product. It's just a little local company. It's not a great brand. And so it almost always has the lowest price. The regional company is one that's selling throughout Latin America. It's seen as better quality than the local company. Its prices are usually a little higher. And then the companies like Bright Smile and Clean and White and our own All Smile toothpaste, they are seen as the big global brands. They come in, they have a higher price because they want to convey the sense that they are higher quality products. Now you'll notice when you look at each one individually and compare them, the global brands, Bright Smile, Clean and White, and ourselves, All Smile, we charge more than regional and local. We also give higher allowances, and those are stocking allowances that we give in order to get space on the shelf in the stores. Now, why do we have to pay more? We have to pay more because, or give a higher percentage, because those shelf spaces are already occupied by other brands that have been produced by local and regional. We're going to many stores that are quite small, and for us to get on the shelf of, say, a traditional or self-serve retailer, we have to knock somebody else off the shelf. So we have to offer a higher allowance. And so I'll write down that the allowance, another allowance figure, and this is for the big brands, global brands, is between 12.8 and 14.8%. Okay. Now I've got some numbers that I can work with. So I go to decisions, SKUs and pricing. And I want to go to the healthy market. We know that our consumers like healthy toothpaste, but I don't know yet whether they like small, medium, or large. So I'm going to have to go back to the consumers. And remember, this decision criteria one is so great. What it tells us is we'll have to do our cross-section again, and we go to healthy. And we want to know which is the big healthy market. Is it younger, older, or families? Younger is 4.1% of the demand. Older is 6.1% of the demand. Families for healthy toothpaste is 18.6. So it's the big target that we want to go after. So we're going to go after a target of families. And you'll notice families, price is important, but the fact that it's a healthy toothpaste is also extremely important. They really care about buying a healthy toothpaste. Size is about the same importance as the population as a whole, but they give a bit more weight to texture and delivery. So let's look over here. We see that medium is the most popular among families who want to buy this kind of toothpaste. And we know that our competitor already has a medium toothpaste on the shelf. Large is more than a third of the demand in the market, and there is no competitor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recommend that we create a large and a medium tube, one to compete against the regional company that's already selling, and the large because nobody's there. Right now, we don't have an option of a pump or a gel, so we're going to create a tube and a paste. So back to decisions, SKUs and pricing. We're going to create a medium, tube, paste. In both cases, we have to decide on a price. And the price that we had for our competitor, you can do more research looking at what the global brands are charging for similar sorts of products. But I'm just going to quickly base it on this. We know that the price was 5.7 Brazilian reals, and we know our cost is 3.37. So we got to make a lot over that cost in order to break even. Remember, we charge a premium, so I'm going to put in a price of 6.7. And you can fine-tune yours. I know that to get on the shelf, I've got to give a substantial allowance because the shelves are already full of other products. And we said between 12.8 and 14.8, that was the amount that the other global competitors were offering. I'm going to offer 15% in the first year. And that's in order to get on the shelf, and then I can probably reduce that in later years. Now, I don't have a straight benchmark for how much I should charge for the large. But what I do know is it costs 53 cents more to make than the medium. And that's about 15% higher in cost. So thinking about 15%, if I was to increase my price by 15%, or this is the manufacturer's suggested retail price by 15%, then it would take it up to somewhere around, about 7.7. So we'll say 7.7. 15% above 6.7, and I'll give it the same here. I'm going to save that. I don't use the figures on the bottom. This is a different way of estimating prices, and I don't find it as effective. Now, I just have a few more minutes to run you through this. Advertising, distribution, and production. These we find from competition. Advertising. How much are our competitors spending? And you can see our competitors are spending between 17 and 52 on advertising in the Brazilian market. There is a company that has a healthy families offering, even though we know it's just a whitening toothpaste. I'm going to benchmark off them, and I'm going to give a 35.3 million reals in advertising budget. And so I go to decisions, advertising, I create a new campaign. We said that families was our target. Portuguese is the language in Brazil. And I believe we said 35.7. And I'm going to create an ad. Now I've got to go to distribution. Whoops. Remember to always save your decisions. I'm going to go to distribution, and in my first year, I'm going to definitely distribute in every channel, and I'm going to promote in every channel because I'll run it as kind of an experiment. But I don't know how many sales reps to have, so I'm going to just do a quick save. I'll go back to competition. Under promotion and Salesforce, that's where I need to get this information. So for Salesforce, I see for Brazil that in total, the companies have between 34 and 125 sales reps. So I'm going to be a little bit conservative in my first year. I'm going to go with about 30, so on the low end. And then when it comes to promotion, I see that they're spending between 6.5 and 29.4 million on the promotions. And so I'm going to be a bit conservative again, and I'm going to spend about 7. Okay, so 30 sales reps and 7. I go to make my decisions under distribution. I said I was going to use, this is a big country, and so I'm going to just do an experiment. I'm going to use 6 sales reps in each channel. That gives me 30 reps. And I said I was going to spend about 7 on promotion on the low end, and I'm going to save that decision. Finally, in the first year, I have to make a decision about where I'm going to produce. Now, you've all done an analysis, should have done with your spreadsheet. You'll choose one of the countries you're going to produce in. You won't have any product from that country in the first year. The product will be supplied from the home. But if we choose a plant, and I'll just choose one at random, I recommend that you make 50 million capacity in your first year, at least, so that you'll have enough in the second year to make some sales and to reduce your cost. You'll notice by producing in Argentina, I'll be saving 10 cents a tube in cost. When you've made all the decisions, advance your simulation. I'm out of time, folks.